We have all heard this before. Don't go outside with your hair wet. You'll catch a cold. That big drop in temperature, well, that certainly made me sick. Blame it on the weather. I've got the flu. Today, we're here to tell you none of that is true.
Part of it's even in the language. You're going to catch a cold. So, cold doesn't cause a cold. What causes these illnesses are viruses.
This is Health and Weather Extended. I'm Rachel Schoutsen, and today our chat is all about the cold and flu and why the weather absolutely cannot produce a virus. In order to get sick, you need to come in contact with a virus. Many viruses are spread through droplet transmission. We learned a lot about this through the COVID-19 pandemic. These infected droplets then enter into your respiratory system, and a cold or flu develops.
In order for somebody to get a cold or a flu, you are in contact with somebody, usually close contact, for a relatively prolonged period of time, several minutes, and you are exposed to viruses that they're breathing out or coughing out. And this can then enter your body and then cause illness in you. The bottom line is when it's not the cold temperatures that causing people to get cold. Cold and flu is caused by viruses.
So why do the colder months tend to bring on more sickness? Why does flu season start when the temperatures are dropping?
This is a classic case of a correlation versus causation. So, we do associate cold with sick, which is true. In the colder months, there are many more people who are catching the common cold or flu. The reason this is happening is not the temperature. It's because during these months, people are indoors. They're in close contact more commonly than, say, in the summertime. And because of that, there's a higher chance of being exposed to infected droplets and aerosols. And that's why people tend to get sick more commonly in the cold months.
So it really is huddling inside with infected people. That's what helps to spread a virus. Now, an interesting method that has been studied is increasing humidity in order to decrease droplet transmission indoors. Now, you have to measure this with a hygrometer inside, and you have to hit a sweet spot. It's recommended about 40 to 60% humidity. It's actually thought that the virus gets trapped in the humid air and then it falls to the ground more quickly. Therefore, it's not able to infect us.
The virus, I guess, is better adapted to survive in a drier environment than a moist one. If you look at people, we're better adapted to survive under some conditions than others. Virus survivability is affected by the moisture content of the air.
Studies have tested classrooms with increased humidity, and the more humid classroom had better attendance since flu-related absenteeism dropped by 66%. Researchers at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, they tested this method out. Their findings concluded that at humidity levels of 23%, about 75% of virus particles were still intact up to 1 hour after a cough released them. When humidity levels were increased to 43%, only 14% of the virus was able to infect after an hour of being released. And of course, you can also dramatically reduce your chances of catching a virus this season by washing your hands, staying away from sick people, and by doing this.
At least for influenza, we have a vaccine. So getting the vaccine can prevent transmission as well as severe illness, especially in older individuals for protection. This goes along with all the other general practices to reduce the risk of infection.
This has been Health and Weather Extended, the chat about temperature swings and the weather making us sick. If you've made it this far, now you know you cannot blame Mother Nature on your cold or flu this season.